there, my name is Biotic Shark, and I've been making custom drawn emotes for clients since the summer of 2017. To date, I have created more than 300, getting close to 400 individual emotes for both affiliates and partners across different platforms. This includes Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, and Discord if you're wanting to include that. First off, I wanted to begin this tutorial with a disclaimer. This tutorial is intended for those who have access to a drawing program such as Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint. If you don't have access to programs like these, this tutorial might not be super helpful to you. In addition, this tutorial also assumes that you are probably an artist yourself and are maybe wanting to take matters into your own hands, and rather than commissioning an artist to make them, you'd like to give it a go and make them yourself. This tutorial is applicable to artists of all skill levels, from novice to advanced, so try not to feel too intimidated. Although it is inevitable that the better you are at art, the better your emote will naturally look. But as long as you have some sort of efficient drawing experience or aptitude, this tutorial should definitely be relevant to you. So, with the disclaimer out of the way, let's begin. The time-lapse video you see while I explain things is a random emote commission I had chosen to use as an example. Perhaps this will also aid any strong visual learners. In particular, I'm going to be using Photoshop CS6 because that's the drawing program I personally use. If you have a different version of Photoshop or a similar drawing software, that's perfectly fine too. Use what you're most comfortable with. Let's quickly review the sizing requirements for all of the current and major streaming platforms currently available. Twitch says 3 file sizes, 112 by 112, 56 by 56, and 28 by 28 PNG files. Mixer, even smaller than Twitch, 24 by 24. I recommend both a 112 by 112 and a 24 by 24 for safekeeping. These are also PNG files. YouTube recommends you use 48 by 48 PNG files. Notice that so far all of these are requiring PNG files rather than JPEGs. And for Discord, any small size will do. No lower than 28 by 28 is necessary. Open a new file with the image being 500 by 500 pixels. You can start smaller, but I personally like to work at this size as I feel like the resolution aids the quality. Very important. Ensure the resolution, or DPI, is set to 300 and that you have it set as a transparent background. Depending on what program you're using, you should have a checkered background indicating your background is transparent. This is pretty important and practically required aspect for emotes. Now that you've got your canvas and images dimensions and settings all proper, we can discuss how to make not just any emote, but a good high quality emote. As an artist in the industry, for lack of a better term, I see even the most talented of artists make rookie mistakes when making their emotes, so I'm going to give as many pointers as I can to help guide you into making the best decisions and hopefully a better emote. First off, emotes are called emotes for a reason. They represent an emotion, and the best ones have universal value. The emotion or action that your emote is portraying needs to be obvious. So obvious, in fact, that you know what it is as soon as somebody posts it in chat, even at the super small sizes that they are. End of story. Wondering what kind of emotes to make or have? Here's a short list of some popular themes and expressions that have a lot of universal value or use to them. Love, gasm, hype, LOL/laughing, sad/crying, WTF, sip, waving hi, blow kiss, and even Pepe meme face adaptions. Again, this is not a limited list. The possibilities are endless, but hopefully naming a few can help get some ideas in your head. Also, ask your community what they would like to see. The best emotes are easy on the eyes, visible, and correlate with the streamer or your community and brand. It's typical for emotes to be an animal or mascot of some kind, a favorite or relevant game character, or the streamer themselves in chibi/cartoon form. Text emotes are okay every now and then, but I'd avoid having more than 1 or 2. That's just my personal suggestion. Of course, you can have whatever you want. Remember when I said emotes are visible? Obvious? You're probably wondering how the hell you achieve that at such a tiny size. That's another thing. Please remember how tiny an emote is. The tiniest size is what matters, not the big or original file size. You could have the prettiest emote in the entire world, but if it doesn't look good at 24 by 24 or 28 by 28, whatever the smallest size is, and isn't blatantly obvious what it is, your pretty design no longer has any merit of any kind. To achieve this golden visibility rule, make sure that your emote character, regardless of what it is, satisfies the following. 1. No highlight details and lines. The line art of the emote needs to be clean and simple. Less is more with emotes. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Less is more. Skilled artists who are used to the fine and pretty details, refrain yourselves. 2. No overly dark colors, especially not mostly blacks. You want dark line art, but contrasted and bright visible colors if possible. Of course, colored line art is okay too, but if you have an emote character that is mostly dark or black, consider changing it to something else or be okay with making it a gray or dark navy instead. 3. Heads only. I repeat, heads only. Don't try and draw a full body character. It's not gonna happen. The lowest you should ever go on any emote character is their shoulders. When you shrink down your emotes to the required submission sizes, especially the smallest, the size that's actually used in chat and that matters, every single pixel counts. So if you try and fit too much in such a small little square, it's gonna look like a garbled mess, or you're gonna be sacrificing that obvious what I'm looking at factor. Minor exceptions include things like butt emotes that still only focus on a small area of the character's body. Another tip I'd recommend is try drawing your emote's character's head in a 3/4 angle. These tend to make more dynamic emotes rather than facing forward ones that end up looking flat, unless you're good with shading and lighting. There's a lot of controversy on the subject of stealing emotes, so let me set the record straight and put it in very straightforward terms. It is completely okay to take inspiration from other emote artists. What's not okay is tracing, recoloring, or editing an already existing emote another artist has made. That is called art theft and can result in negative actions to not only your reputation, most artists will eventually find out and put you on public blast, but to your social accounts as well. Hell, even legal action in some cases. Now, don't get confused. Nobody can copyright the action of a cartoon character laughing or having heart eyes or throwing their hands up in the air, etc. As long as you draw your emote completely from scratch and you're not directly copying, you are 100% safe and have nothing to worry about. Okay, so to quickly recap what we've learned so far, less is more, and it's what the smallest size looks like that truly matters. Remember these two things and you're probably going to do good. Also, don't be afraid to use references. This goes for any artwork that you make. You may ask at any point, now, Biotic, what happens if I draw a great emote that I'm happy with, but it doesn't look that great at its smallest size? Well, then it's time to go back to your working size and change some things up. Take note of what needs work, the thing that needs to be bigger for you to tell what it is. Don't be afraid to do the whole trial and error thing until you get it right. Important, always keep your PSD or editable layer files saved in a folder somewhere, separate from your saved PNG sizes of the emote. That way you can go back and make any changes if needed at any time. For example, even today, sometimes I'll make an emote and it'll look great until I'm saving the last and smallest resize. And I'll think, okay, this looks all right, but I could definitely make it a bit more visible and obvious. So I return to my working size sometimes, and it's just a matter of stretching out the image a little bit more. Sometimes it's necessary for the image to go past the dimensions of the square, and it cut off a bit in order to make certain features bigger, and that's okay, as long as it's not by too much. Again, sometimes it's just a matter of trial and error. Since most people use the dark or night modes on streaming platforms, if you don't, you're a weirdo, and what the hell are you doing? What I like to do to test out how it's going to look is to open a private DM on Discord and upload the smallest file size there is to see what it would look like if it were being used in chat. Testing it on Better Twitch TV's website is also a good place to test its visual quality too. Listen, I know there's a lot of information in this video, so don't try and rush or pressure yourself too much. If you have a question about something or want me to iterate on something more, simply post a comment below and I'll answer as quickly as possible. On the contrary, if you've watched this and have just gotten totally fed up or frustrated and want to give up on making emotes, then that's also okay. There's always the option to commission an artist to make them for you. When you do this, make sure the artist is legit, as there is a lot of emote thieves out there who profit off of stealed or recolored designs. And that you and the artist have discussed what you're wanting in detail and are comfortable with the artist's process. Communication is key to a good commission. Budget quality emote prices typically run anywhere from $5 to $15 per emote, while high quality emotes typically run from $20 to $40 each. Any higher than these prices probably indicate that the artist is in very high demand and/or has a lot of celebrity streamer clients under their experience. There is an artist for every budget. So just remember that if you can't afford a high quality emote artist, it doesn't mean that they are too expensive or are charging too much. It just means you can't afford that particular quality or artist. Get what you can afford now, and later down the line, you can always get them revamped or replaced with better or new ones when you leave the funds. No worries. If you're interested in commissioning me to make your emotes, you can do so by going to bioticshark.com/commissions and following the info there, or simply DM me on Twitter. Again, I could go into more detail and give tips and tricks to making emotes literally for hours. So if there are any questions you have, please don't be shy and feel free to comment below and I'll help you out as much as I can. I'm not the best emote artist out there and will never claim to be. However, I hope this video helped you and best of luck on making your emotes. Have a great rest of your day, sharks, and I'll see you on the next video.